like it.
All right. This is the happy birthday episode to America.
America.
Happy birthday. Well, I mean, it's past the birthday, but happy belated birthday. Oh, welcome everybody to episode 87 of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. That over there is Weekend Trav. I am B Money, the producer, known as producer and whatever else. We're coming to you from two different studios as it is 4th of July weekend, or at least the end of 4th of July weekend. It's a little tough with families and stuff to negotiate an hour or two to carve out in order to record these podcasts. So we're coming to you via my home studio, as well as still Weekend Trav in the boxing studio. So it's a pleasure.
In the podcast studio. This is the #1 beards, bourbon, and boxing podcast shot in Orlando, Florida, specifically Laureate Park, specifically in a boxing gym, specifically on the second floor of the boxing gym in the podcast room. Shot on a Sunday or Monday. Today is actually Tuesday. Dropping on Wednesday morning at 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to look and don't forget to check it out. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to get your notification for every time we drop a podcast, because we drop them every Wednesday at 7:15 a.m. And we have done that now for approximately 8 to 9 weeks. Every Wednesday, we have not been late. We have not dropped an episode. We are the #1 boxing, beards, and bourbon podcast in our demographic, specifically in the world.
In the world. I was waiting to get to that last part. In the world. So folks listening or watching at home, whether or not you're catching us on YouTube or Rumble on the visual side of things, or if you're listening to us on the audio cast, whether that's on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Amazon or iTunes or whatever it is iTunes still the name of it? I don't even know. I don't have Apple. So wherever you're catching this, we appreciate you and we appreciate your support and following along. But Weekend Trav, this is probably gonna be one of our shortest episodes ever.
That's not what she said.
Maybe after the fact. Anyways, so Weekend Trav, we had a little bit to talk about. We want to jump right into the August 6th matchup, which is supposed to be Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, other than the fact that Tommy Fury seems to have found his way out and is having some visa issues, though those could be settled up pretty easily. Jake Paul has given him until Wednesday, which is the day this episode is dropping. So for all we know, by the time this drops, there is actual updates to who the opponent will be for Jake Paul on August 6th. But let's talk about the on again, off again drama here with what's going on with that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it wouldn't be a Jake Paul fight if we didn't have some sort of drama or some sort of entertainment value going on, because that's exactly what's going on. I think that this drama it will pay off if Tommy Fury ends up actually coming through on this fight, because I think a lot of people are interested now and kind of clamoring for it recently because of this whole holdup, because it's the second time around, just all that stuff. I really do think people are talking about it a little more than they ever did, because it looks like Tommy Fury is trying to wiggle out of it. And if he does this, it's very sad. If Tommy Fury officially does not end up taking this fight, he should never get to fight Jake Paul ever again. In fact, I'll go even as far to say I hope that he never gets another visa to come to America if he doesn't take care of this right now. Because here's the deal. I do understand there's some complications, because so Tyson Fury used to be connected to this guy who used to run MTK Global.
Right.
Okay. And I remember, and so do you remember, because a couple of years ago, we were back in Texas
the
Ryan Garcia fight.
We won't name names as to our conversations and how that all connected the dots.
But we know things, and we knew this because we knew some people that knew some people that I'm trying to separate ourselves as much as we possibly can, because we knew some stuff about this guy.
We know a guy who knew a guy who heard it from a girl who knew a guy.
No. Well, but you could imagine if we did know a person, but we did. So the story is, we did know this MTK Global guy was a gangster. He's known gangster. He's been wanted. I think he's murdered a bunch of people, and there's evidence of it, blah, blah, blah. And he's been hiding out, but he also used to be connected with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, thankfully, also, when all this came out, and I think they finally arrested this guy, or they finally brought charges up against this MTK Global founder. I'm pretty sure that they brought charges against this guy. All this is now, it's out in the open. So that is why I think, I'm quoting here, air quotes, Spotify listeners and other app listeners. I'm air quoting this because supposedly that's why Tommy Fury is getting docked right now and not allowed into the United States because of his connection with that guy. However, I believe that Tommy Fury was over here already, but I also get it that he probably was over here on just some sort of a vacation, whatever visa. Now he's trying to get a work visa, which is a little different because now he's trying to make money in America. So they want to make sure that he's on the up and up. And by all sounds of it, I think they are, because I'm pretty sure that Tyson Fury, Tommy's older brother, officially cut ties and separated himself away from MTK Global.
Right.
And it seems like he's doing the right thing. And we don't know if this guy's guilty or not. He's alleged, right?
All right. So
Take two,
a little technical difficulties, but we can Trav, as we were talking about MTK Global. We were talking about Tommy Fury and actually Tyson Fury with regard to that, and that being possibly a roadblock to Tyson Fury getting his visa. If that's really the case, I'm still skeptical about whether or not that's really what's going on, and if this isn't just for a little bit of publicity.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem, who knows, because I think what looks bad though is the fact that Jake Paul and them are doing all the talking, and Tommy Fury hasn't really said anything. So I think that's the problem. Where who are we supposed to believe? I mean, we can only go by what we're hearing, and that's all we're hearing, because Tommy Fury has been literally radio silent. And according to Jake Paul and their team as well, we're just talking about what we've heard over social media, and Jake Paul's camp is that they haven't heard from Tommy Fury. And Jake Paul, when did he send that tweet out? Did he say tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, July, let me see, Wednesday, July 6th. Jake Paul tweeted out, I actually retweeted it as well, and he tweeted out that that's the deadline. I'll read it off to you. It said, Tommy is officially out by Wednesday morning if he doesn't go to the embassy / come out of hiding. 3 other opponents are lined up. I'm built different. That's a quote from Jake Paul, and that was 2 days ago. And I think that that's 100% the right decision. If they're trying to promote a show, they're trying to sell, and they're trying to pay a guy like Jake Paul, which you have to pay a lot because at this point he's fighting for millions. You need a proper opponent, but you also, in the same token, if you're taking your career seriously, you also need proper time to train for a proper opponent. So I think it's handicapping Jake Paul too. And maybe this is good for all of us. Maybe we're going to get to see a different Jake Paul, because to be fair, B-Money, I gave Jake Paul credit when he rematched Tyron Woodley on 10 to 12 days notice the last time that Tommy Fury fell out. And then Jake Paul ended up knocking out Tyron Woodley, but he did not look phenomenal leading up to that knockout. But what doesn't matter, because the knockout was phenomenal, and he dropped him. He knocked out Tyron Woodley cold, face planted him. So what I'm trying to say is Jake Paul is built a little different. A lot of fighters would have just postponed the fight until they found a suitable opponent. Jake Paul said, no, I want to fight. Looks like he's doing the same thing now.
I just think because he's so tied in with MVP promotions that he has to fight at this point, because that's what's really selling this card. Yes, I understand Amanda Serrano's on it and whatnot, but people don't want to. I don't think people are ready to spend the money to see that again as a headliner. So I think no matter what, something's got to happen. Him as the boxer now, he has to also wear a promoter hat in a sense, and who knows what's going to happen. I think it's a bit of trying to sell this fight a little better. I would imagine that there's going to be a miracle scenario where Wednesday morning, which is the same morning this podcast drops, so we might be dealing with old information by the time you listen to us. I'd imagine that that's going to be rectified, so everybody wins in the situation, and we got some interest leading into this thing in a month. I'm still not super interested in him fighting Tommy Fury. However, the 2 names that I keep hearing, and other people are hearing the same things, I might have my finger to the pulse a little bit, but here's the 2 names, and I've been saying one of them for some time. If Tommy Fury doesn't pan out, you're going to be looking at Nate Diaz, which I understand is not a true boxer. So you're going to continue to have that argument about Jake Paul not fighting a real boxer. And then recently, what's come up because of words that the man himself has talked about, Mike Tyson. So,
yep.
You want to sell a fight? That's how you sell a fight. Everyone's would want to see Iron Mike if that could actually happen. I don't know how that would happen outside of an exhibition sort of situation, but those are the two names I hear. If Tommy Fury doesn't pan out, chances are come tomorrow morning for us on Wednesday morning, probably going to be rectified, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, it would have to be an exhibition with Mike Tyson because no sane commission in New York, especially, would sanction a Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight because there's a lot of rules and people don't know this, but there's a lot of rules with commissions when a guy has a certain amount of fights. Like Mike Tyson obviously got 50 or 60 pro fights. Jake Paul's got 5 or 6 pro fights. So there's a big discrepancy there. And obviously it's Mike Tyson who can take your head off. And also Jake Paul would have to come in weight heavier. Jake Paul would have to come in 201 plus because that's the heavyweight division in pro boxing. And you're not allowed to fight out of your weight class unless you weigh in that weight class. So there's a lot that have to be worked out for that. And honestly, if they end up fighting Mike Tyson, that would be stupid. That's a fight that deserves about an 8 to 12 week buildup because that's huge. And that's Mike Tyson.
And that's why I'm thinking Weekend Trav that we're probably going to see the miracle happen tomorrow for Tommy Fury. That's a lot of money to walk away from. And that's a lot of egg on that Fury family name that I don't think they want to deal with. I don't know what's more embarrassing, losing to Jake Paul or the way so far this is kind of unfolded. If all of a sudden Tommy does truly drop the bag.
Yeah. And this will be the second time Tommy Fury backed out. Right. So that's the worst part about all of this. This isn't the first time.
There was an injury the first time. So
and it seemed legit, but nobody really knew. Nobody still knew. I think even Jake Paul even claimed they really didn't see any proof, but clearly I'm going to say that he probably was hurt, but I believe leading up to that he didn't even notify them until later too, that he was actually that hurt. So either way, it's not showing a lot of responsibility. It's not showing a lot of class by pulling out that quick, that soon, and doing it the way he's doing it. So I hope that I'm going to put this out there. If Tommy Fury truly wants to fight Jake Paul on August 6th, he will make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's all there is to it. If he actually wants to see him fight, if Tommy actually wants to fight Jake Paul, he'll make it happen. That's period. I've always said that people who want to make stuff happen, they will make every excuse in the book to make it happen.
This is the biggest payday of his career and probably will be the biggest payday of his career at this point from what we've seen of Tommy Fury in the ring. So it makes no sense to me why we aren't hearing more from his side of the camp. First of all, it took them it took them forever to actually sign a we're getting the word from the Paul or the Jake Paul camp, which hasn't been refuted, that they took forever on the contract stuff and agreeing to terms and this and that. And until he put it out publicly, that is when Tommy Fury jumped on and said, fine, we're forget everybody else. I'm signing it. We're in.
Yep.
So who knows? There's a lot going on. I don't think that we really understand behind the scenes there. BJ Flores comes out and says basically that if it's not going to be Tommy Fury, then it's going to be, definitely a big time name that people are going to raise their eyebrows at. Okay. Well, that's why I'm kind of more thinking it's one of the two that I mentioned. Probably Iron Mike, but probably Nate Diaz. Yeah. We keep hearing that name floated around this whole matchup. Once again, not a boxer. It is what it is. We'll know more, ladies and gentlemen, within the next 24 plus hours. But unfortunately for us, the way that we drop this podcast, this might be old news by now.
Yeah, but you know what, though? What's still good speculation for us because we're still covering it. And also follow us on our Instagram where we can update that 24 hours a day, 24/7. So make sure you follow our Instagram page, which is Weighing In with Travis Hartman. While you're at it, click on the little link in our bio. Give our last episode some love, and then we'll upload our new episode in that bio as well. Give us some love there, but also follow our Instagram. We update that thing pretty regularly. We'll repost and post on our storyline. Sometimes we'll make a reel out about it. But check us out because we update that 24/7. So even regardless of whatever happens tomorrow morning with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, we'll have it updated on our actual Instagram account, but make sure you check out this episode because We won't get to see B Money's pretty face and pretty hair and cool sunglasses and my beard and my tan. And I have a really
Tan?
bad tan on my back. Actually, it's
Tan? I don't think
burnt.
they don't call that tan. They call that burnt.
I'm
So
crispy. I am crispy.
yeah, yeah. So well, weekend Trav. I don't know have a good segue to this, but let's move on because we're gonna know more about this Paul fight here in the next few days. But let's talk about a gentleman. Actually, two guys in general. One has a fight coming up in the next 2 weeks, I believe, and then the other guy has a fight later on this year. But there's been a lot of drama online and talking
Yeah.
about one Ryan Garcia and one Canelo Alvarez. A lot of just kind of talkings back and forth, not directly to one another, but via
Yeah.
media outlets. And then other boxers, other big time names weighing in on what they have to say. Give the ladies and gentlemen at home a bit of a rundown here of what we've been hearing back and forth between these two guys.
Listen, from what I've saw, it's all started from Canelo was asked a question, I believe, in an interview. I don't know if it was on DAZN or what, because he's doing a lot of press right now leading up to his as a trilogy fight with Triple G. And as you guys all know, Ryan Garcia used to train with Canelo, used to be trained by Canelo's same trainer. Obviously, they split now, and that's it's never going to be a bad. They didn't split either because Eddie Reynoso was doing a bad job. He won his last fight with Eddie Reynoso. In fact, it was a massive knockout win by Ryan Garcia, but then he went inactive. Who knows what happened in that camp? But I know in that camp, the numero uno in that camp is Canelo Alvarez.
As it should be.
And that's who is the moneymaker. That's who is the greatest out of that camp. But at this point, Ryan Garcia is still young. Ryan Garcia is undefeated, not a world champion. Somebody asked Canelo who he thinks would win between Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. And Canelo said, honestly, he's like, I think Tank wins right now. He goes, but I'm not saying that Ryan can't beat him down the road. He goes, I just don't think Ryan's ready yet. Well, of course, Ryan Garcia caught wind of that, thought Canelo was talking smack, which he gave his honest opinion. Whether he was talking smack or not, I don't know. But I don't think Canelo. Here's my favorite saying that Floyd Mayweather always said. He said, elephants don't beef with ants. You feel me? Canelo's not trying to beef with Garcia because he doesn't need to. He doesn't honestly need to or care. He was asked a question. He didn't bring up Ryan Garcia. This guy's got so much on his plate and so much to worry about that he's not going to beef. And to be fair and not disrespectful to Ryan Garcia in this situation, he's an ant. Canelo's an elephant. So they're not beefing. Canelo was just giving his honest opinion when he was asked. Then Ryan Garcia came out, made some cracks at Canelo, blah, blah, blah. Canelo also said that, Ryan Garcia is not even a world champion yet. Come back and talk to me when you're a world champion. He's not wrong. Canelo's not wrong. Ryan Garcia, you are not a world champion. And Ryan Garcia clipped back about, yeah, well, I didn't get to fight Ricky or Matthew Hatton to win a world title. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Canelo's legit. Nobody would say he's not legit. Nobody would say he's not a legit champion. So it doesn't matter who he fought. Ryan Garcia, listen, take some words of wisdom from a guy myself who was professional for 16 plus years. Earn your stripes, brother. You can say all you want. Earn your stripes. You haven't earned them. You are earning them, but you haven't earned them yet. You're speaking with right now the godfather of boxing. All right? Canelo owns boxing right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone really come to Ryan Garcia's defense on any of this stuff, because even today I saw Floyd Mayweather's comments weekend, Trav, and I think you were reading those to me as well, pre-production. And what was it that Floyd Mayweather had just said about it?
Yeah, he pretty much was echoing the same thing that I think a lot of old school boxers are thinking, and it's the same thing. So I'll read you word for word what pretty boy Floyd Mayweather said. Let me find it. Here we go. I got to find it. It's on the ESPN site. Okay, here we go. Floyd Mayweather. You see Ryan Garcia. First, he's praising Canelo. Want to learn from Canelo. In Canelo's training camp, now it's all hate. Accomplish what Canelo has accomplished, then speak bad about him. Listen, you can hate Mayweather all you want, but Mayweather is spot on right there.
Yeah,
he is. Earn your stripes. That's the deal. You can't just talk crap. You got to earn the right to talk crap. And that's actually the truth. Yep. You got to earn the right to talk crap. You want to talk crap to Canelo? You know how you back it up? You don't have two legs to stand on at this point right now because you don't even got a world title. You have not even fought the top guys in that division, let alone world titleists. So Ryan Garcia, all due respect, bro, and I want to see this. I want to see you prove us. I want to see you prove it wrong. I want to see you be world champion, but you're not. Shut up and train right now.
There
Shut
you
up
go.
and train. That's it.
And Canelo needs to stop messing around with ants. In my opinion, he's got bigger fish to fry here in September, and we'll get to that as the weeks progress. So we can Trav. The only thing else that I wanted to bring up is the fact that it is for us right now is July 5th. Yesterday on July 4th, which is Independence Day here in the States. Happy birthday, America! It was a great time. I had family in town. We were having a good time. I know you were up. You were at where were you at?
Crystal River.
Yeah, you were having a good time. Saw all your photos and stuff like that. However, around lunchtime, it's a tradition for me. Okay, tradition. I always tune in. I don't like watching ESPN a lot, but when I do, it's usually July 4th. It's lunchtime, and it's the Nathan's hot dogs eating contest up there in Coney Island. Okay. Oh yeah. Hey, listen. I don't know if you've caught this. I don't know if you've ever caught this stuff, but I certainly did, and I made a little money on it. Decided to put a little wager on, on Joey Chestnut winning, which is not the easy. That's not the hard bet. The hard bet, and what I actually won money on, was that he would not break his record. He was coming in on crutches. He had a leg injury. So the over under on hot dogs eaten within 10 minutes was 74.5. His record was 76, I believe. I said he wasn't going to get 76, and I won a whopping $5 on that bet. So I was pretty happy with myself. That's not why I bring it up, Weekend Trav. Not only did this guy win by consuming 63 dang hot dogs in 10 minutes, which sounds awful, by the way. If you ever watch these guys consuming these things too, it's weird. But you got to find the footage online, because ESPN didn't show this during the broadcast. You got to find the footage online. Probably around hot dog 10, 11, or 12, someone stormed the stage, a protester for something, and I have no idea what. Joey Chestnut, mid hot dog, caught the guy in the Cobra clutch and flung him backwards, and security took care of the rest. And then he went on to consume another 50 hot dogs and win the whole stinking competition on a bum tire, on crutches. That's the man, 15-time champion of this event. He should go down in history as one of the best champions of all time.
I mean, listen, I actually thank you for keeping me updated on this whole deal, because I was laughing at you, and secretly, but also openly mocking you for this. But turns out it was pretty funny when I Googled that video of him choking the guy out. You guys, one, he's on crutches. Two, he's in the middle of a contest. This Star Wars and protester runs up there. Joey Chestnut grabs him by the neck, slams him as security guards are getting this guy. Are you serious? Joey Chestnut's the GOAT right now.
Heck yeah.
Joey Chestnut's the GOAT. And I definitely have to echo what you said, though, by the way. Happy birthday, America. I am proud to be an American. As dysfunctional as a lot of people think that we are, which we are, so is every other country. But I am very proud to be from this country. I will never leave this country. I will always fight for the rights of this country. I will always fight for our freedoms. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Oh. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand. Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
it's a good look. Listen, it's a great one. And I do love they're echoing that song. So we were at Crystal River is a natural spring that goes into the Gulf. So we were in the Gulf of Mexico as well as Crystal Springs, and they were playing that song, and it gives me goosebumps. Joey Chestnut.
Look at that guy just downing those dogs.
Does it get more American than that, having a hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July? Come on.
Man.
Listen, I love our country, though. I mean, I love our country. We get to talk on a podcast and do stupid stuff like this. We get to we're exercising one of our rights right now, to speak and the freedom of speech. And I love it. We speak freely here.
Yep.
We're not mean. We're not bullies. No. We're not threatening nobody. We speak freely. We're proud Americans. I hope that we continue down that path, and I hope that we always continue to get better. I'm not saying we're perfect because we're not. We're a very flawed nation of 300 plus million people.
Yep.
It's very hard for everybody to be perfect, but we should keep trying to do better. And I think we are. And I think we're going to continue as citizens, as us, to do better.
Yep. And when someone hears the argument or the comments that we refer to our nation as the best nation on planet Earth, stuff like that, which I believe is true. And then you kind of see some comments that are like slap back, well, they, this and that, and the
Blah,
rights
blah, blah.
and the health rights, healthcare, and the women's right. You know what? Shut your pie hole. Okay. Because where else are you going to go to have every other stinking freedom you can possibly think of, be able to do what we're doing, like you mentioned, and have the right to complain about stuff? You ain't going to go anywhere else and find all that, because there's a reason why everyone's trying to get here, and there always will. Okay. Still. And yeah, we have a lot of issues here. Don't get me wrong. I think I posted something for work about it on the 4th of July, which I'm very patriotic. I love our country. But yeah, we are flawed. We're supposed to be. We're built by flawed individuals because we're all human beings, and we have to recognize those errors and move forward into making America continuously be great again.
I don't disagree, man. We just have to keep doing better for sure. But listen, we're flawed, bro.
Who else would celebrate the birthday of their country with a hot dog eating contest? There's no other country with enough swagger to do that other than the US of A.
Listen, just don't watch the media. Don't listen to the media, because they will have you believing that this country is so flawed and so bad. But the actions speak louder than words. And what I mean by that is people are still flooding to move here. I know many people that were immigrants and they're coming over here and they're still working on, they have really good high paying jobs here, but they're still working on getting their green card and their visas to live here full time, because we have the most opportunities. You literally, and this is why I hate these equality. If you work hard enough and want something bad enough, I promise you, in this country, you can obtain it.
Yeah, I just talked to we were shooting off a lot of fireworks up in the air. I had brought a ton of the ones that go in the sky over to my parents' place, and I had family in town, so we were shooting stuff up into the sky. It was a beautiful sight, being able to blow stuff up, blah blah blah. But I was talking to my parents' new neighbors, younger couple, Indian couple, and the husband had been a citizen, but the wife just became a citizen last September, and she was beaming with pride over this sort of thing. This is what we don't get. Yeah. This is what we don't get, folks. If we were born into this and we've been a citizen and we've just grown up in a system of complaints, you don't listen to the people that came over and went through the study process, the paperwork process, all the stuff to become a full-on citizen, took the test, took the oath.
Yeah.
And she had nothing but beaming words to say. And she's younger. It wasn't like it was some old lady. This was a younger than me. And it was one of the most significant experiences of her life to become an actual U.S. citizen officially last September. So kudos to her and others that do the same thing. But this is a soapbox topic we can Trav. I think folks that listen to us understand that we love where we're at and love, irregardless of the flaws and the problems in the system, we still love it no matter what. So that being said, do you have any final words, thoughts, or wisdom for us?
I don't think so. I mean, I love my country. I love it. What's the old saying? Love it or leave it, baby. Love it or leave it. Listen, I think we can still love our country and recognize our flaws and help to make them better one step at a time. But I don't like to demonize certain cultures, certain ethnic groups, certain colors of people. I think that we're all Americans. I think that we're one big melting pot here. But at the end of the day, this is the United States of America. Let's keep it that way. Period. That's it.
Period.
Period. Exclamation point. Let's go.
Let's go. Hashtag it. Okay, so we can Trav. That's about it for me. We appreciate those that have subscribed below or follow our content. Please do so again. Once again, give us a thumb up if you're watching on YouTube, or hit the follow button, hit the bell icon to know next time we drop new content. to be notified of that. And if you're listening to us on any of the audio sources, we appreciate any follow back, any comments below as well. What you want to hear about. We'll be back to kind of more of a normalized schedule of programming come next week, and really jumping into the boxing scene a bit more. As we mentioned, this was the July 4th edition of the episode, so a little bit different of a format. But Weekend Trav, I appreciate your time, and I don't really have any final thoughts other than thanking our media partners, TH Boxing, Gulfstream Financial, and IF Enterprises, as always. And thank you at home listening, wherever you are doing that. That's
Amen.
about
God
it.
bless. Hallelujah.
Okay, that over there is Weekend Trav.
That there's B Money, aka producer, aka the man, the myth, the legend, but Joey Chestnut still a goat.
Oh yeah, by far. Sit down, Tom Brady. Joey Chestnut, stand up. God bless.